Folks, for joining us today. My name is LN Mishra. I'm one of the principal trainers and business analyst at Adaptive US. And it's always my pleasure to meet many new business analysts around the world. And sometimes I do meet our past students, past acquaintances in the webinar as well. Like I see Amanda, I see Edgar. They have been associated with in some form or other. Amanda has been our student as well. So it's always a pleasure for me to meet so many new business analysts and existing BAs as well throughout the world. So this particular webinar has a very simple agenda. It's to kind of guide you how to complete your CCBA and CBAP examination in your first attempt. That's what we are trying to do. So let's see what is there for us to talk. So I got some idea from some of you. I see somebody joining from, many of you joining from US, of course. There's somebody from Ireland that I spoke to. Is there any other country you folks are from? Anybody from Canada or any other country?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico, okay, very good. Yes, Yemi, from which country?
Yes, I'm joining from Canada.
Wow, very good. So
Yeah, thank
Canada,
you.
Mexico, US. Um, any other country? Laura? Laura Fab is, I think, our past student, looks like. Yeah, I see a lot of names which are kind of, yeah.
I'm from South Africa.
Oh, South Africa, very good. Okay, so at least we covered the African continent, the European continent, and the North American continent. Pretty good. Okay. Anybody from Asia? No, nobody from Asia. Yemi, yes, you raised your hand.
Oh, sorry, I should lower that. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Okay, thank you. I think let's begin. So I'm glad, and usually we see learners coming from various parts of the world, which is always a nice thing to see. And again, let me congratulate all of you for taking a time out from your important schedule, work, and and I'm quite sure those of you who follow the guidance and complete the training and certification, you are destined to become a great BA in your lifetime. I've seen many of our BAs also becoming country leaders for them for their countries. I've seen many of them have become such a recognizable name in their own country, which I believe you can also become. As I said, very simple agenda, how to prepare for CCBA or CBAP, and what kind of support you can expect from us. And I'll be happy to answer any of your questions as well. I've been through these exams myself. I've helped more than probably 1,100 BAs to become CBAP or CCBA certified. So I do have some experience to talk about. Again, we do have a nice announcement at the end of the webinar for certain coupon code and a free offer as well. Those of you who would like to take advantage of that, please stay tuned till the end of the webinar. I think this is my brief intro, a BA for more than 27 years. Got about 2,250 BAs certified through all the certifications of IIBA. That 1,100 number I spoke of is practically for CCBA and CBAP. A good number also come from ECBA. I think about 750. Then other certifications like CBDA, CPOA, AAC, and CCA. I've been part of IIBA standards writing team and exam setting committee as well. And mostly I spend my time in training, writing, blogging, also playing the role of a BA for Adaptive US and for many of our clients as well. I have been lucky enough to kind of consult more than 100 clients in about 10 different countries, spanning North America, Europe, Asia. I haven't been to Australia or to South America. So those two continents still remain away for me. Maybe next year I'll try to do some work there as well. So here is one tiny poll for you, and I'll release the poll on uh, this thing, Zoom as well. And please respond to the poll. So the poll is very simple. You have a branded cell phone at $900. I wrote it in the this thing as $1,000, but here I have given it as $900. And unbranded cell phone at $800, and both have very similar features, similar capabilities. So what would you go for? Okay, so I see five people, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Few more if you can do. Like we still have 22 people on the call. So those of you who haven't voted, please vote. So we get a good number to kind of statistically justify things. You know, to justify anything statistically, you should have at least 30 data points. We don't have 30 people here, but with the 20 data points that we have, let's see. Done? All of you? Okay, good. So maybe I will end this poll and I'll tell you the results as well. So we get 67% saying they would go for a branded phone and 33% saying they will go for an unbranded phone because it's a little cheaper. And this is normal human behavior. No, most people would go for a branded phone if the price difference isn't too high. No, usually 10%, 15%, 20%, usually they'll observe. Sometimes you'll actually observe 500% as well. You can see some products where people really want to buy that product. Maybe one such product is Apple. People do pay quite a bit of significant premium to buy their products. So, what's the reason people pay premium for a branded product? Must be some reason. Anyone can say what's the reason we pay little bit premium for a branded product? Not little bit, somewhat, quite a bit premium, lot of times as well. Anyone? No?
Well, a
There must be some
branded
reason,
one
no?
typically has a
Yes.
little bit better
Uh-huh.
reliability behind it.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, better reliability for sure. Okay, so my understanding has been we typically expect that when a product is a branded product, we can take an assurance that the product will work well. No? So if I'm buying a non-branded product, I really not sure whether it's going to work, not work, is it going to fail, what kind of reliability it will come with, what kind of warranty support it may come, post-sale support it may come. So the next question to all of you, again, I think it's again a tiny poll, and I believe you can also pick up that poll. It should not take much time. It's a very simple poll, which is about this one. The simple question is, do you consider yourself to be a product? Like you are a person, are you also a product? Okay, let's see how the responses come. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's come and see a little better number. 12 already. A few more. Okay, 13, 14. Okay. And nobody else wants to take a stand. We are not going to penalize you for saying yes or no. It's just your perception. Don't worry so much. Okay, so got 16 people responding, which is okay. I think I can stop here. 17 people responded. So I am going to stop here and share the results with you. So in fact, most of you agree that we are indeed products. That's why there is a term called job market. No? If we are not products, then there will not be a concept called a job market. We are all products in the job market. So somebody is going to pay a price for having us as part of their organization. And people who have branded offerings are going to get better value. So when you go through a program like CCBA or CBAP, you not only enhance your skill, knowledge, you also get a branded business analyst role. And I personally have seen more than 500, 600, maybe more than 1,000 BAs who have got benefits to the tune of 40 to 50% salary hike after they completed the training and certification. And you can actually go and reach out to these people. I'm not talking about somebody fictitious. All their names are published on our website. You can find them on LinkedIn and you can say, okay, I was asked by LN to reach out to you to speak about this. And I believe they'll be happy to speak to you. Hmm? That much confidence we have on our fast learners. Okay. So this is something IIBA also tracks, and IIBA has the reports as says trained and certified BAs on 19% more on average. So, but for us, the average is actually much higher compared to what IIBA is reporting. And obviously, they see much faster career growth. We have seen so many learners becoming senior business analysts, BA managers after they complete these programs. And most of them also report much higher confidence at work and a greater job satisfaction, which is very important as a person. So this is something we did for our learners on a LinkedIn survey, and this is what we observed. So about 49% said they got a better role at work, 58% said higher salary, and 91% said higher confidence at work, which is very similar to what IIBA does, but we did it only for our learners, not the BA community in general. Again, lot of such feedback you'll get. They're on public domain. It's not private domain, so you can go and check them as well. Then there's one more from Ghalib. Okay. Then there's one more interesting one, which is from one of our past learner called Sharika Dilip. And she actually lost her job due to COVID. And she bounced back to her job because she had CBAP certification. So if you are in some bad situation, certifications can also help you to recover from those situations. Okay, so how do we go about achieving our objective? So it's as simple as the first point I always say most people miss is making up your mind. Okay, it's all question of we taming our mind and saying this is the time frame by which I want to get certified, and what do I need to do to get that done. And that's how I completed all 7 IIBA certifications in record time. Hmm? And I became the first BA in the world to complete all 7 IIBA certifications. Of course, after me, few other people have done it now, but I did it quite some time back. I think maybe 3 years back or something. Because I was so determined that this is something that is going to help me grow professionally, build my brand, and that's how I did all these 7 certifications. And I'm quite hopeful and I'm quite confident many of you can do it. Actually, it's not something that I only did, others can't do. And that's how we have seen so many successes with our learning process. So let's take a quick look at all these 7 steps, and then I will take up questions from you. So the first step, as I said, making up our mind. And this is where most people actually struggle because they don't make up their mind that this is the time frame by which I should get certified. If you have a firm date in your mind, it will happen. But of course, I'm not saying put the firm date as next week or 2 weeks from now. That's not a good idea. But if you give yourself 3 to 4 months time, you should be reasonably in a good position to complete your certification process. And of course, remember, market is volatile, it's changing. So as much protection we can build for ourselves, it's going to be helpful. Then obviously, between CCBA and CBAP, which one should you choose? So let's take a look. IIB does have many other certifications also, like what we call core, non-core. And we generally recommend non-core after completing a core certification. So we wouldn't ask you to do CBDA without doing ECBA or CCBA or CBAP. That's how generally we recommend because the core concept should be clear to you before you go for added concepts. So if you see here, this is what I have written here. So for people who have 2+ years of ITBA experience, so why am I saying ITBA, not general BA? Although the standard is written as business analysis standard, it's practically written from a software requirements analysis perspective. It's not a very generic thing. So somebody having process management experience or process BA experience, they will generally struggle a bit more because they don't have the IT background. I wish we move to a more generic format for the foundational certificate, which is what we are trying to do now. If you look at ECBA, the content has been significantly changed to adapt to a more of a non-BA, non-ITBA perspective as well. Like even if you are a non-ITBA, you still will be able to take ECBA. Some of you, I may also recommend that if you are finding it difficult to go for CCBA or CBAP and you find the questions to be hard, it's indeed a good idea to complete ECBA first. Many advantages of doing ECBA first. One, it's a simpler exam. So you can pass it with lesser effort. Two, it stays with you forever. So it doesn't lapse like CCBA or CBAP. So once you're an ECBA, that certificate is always going to be with you forever. So that's a plus point. And it also gives you an idea about the exam process, the tool or system that is used to run the exam. So that is always going to be much more helpful when you go for CCBA or CBAP. And if you are a BA with more than 4.5 years of ITBA experience, I would always recommend you to look at CBAP because that's what IIB is also expecting. The reason I give you about 6 months of leeway in the experience because by the time you start and you complete the course, you go for the test, it may be almost 6 months. So you can actually count those many hours for your application as well. Good. Then we come to the third point, getting trained and why it is important to get trained. Some people ask me, okay, um, can I do CBAP myself? I said, possibly you can. And there are many low cost resources available which will give you the PD hours. So I see some courses on Udemy. Technically, they should not be allowed to give the PD hours, but IIB accepts and they give the PD hours. So you can buy them as well. But if you do not have right coach, right study materials, right guidance, the whole process may take extra 6 to 12 months. Sometimes I've seen people taking 5 years to become a CBAP. That's too long a time. Uh, Secondly, the amount of time that you are not a certified BA, you're also losing out on opportunities. It's very clear. And generally, we estimate those opportunities to be about $20,000 per year. That's the amount of opportunity loss that you're having. How much investment are you making into the program? People may say the course fee is $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever. Including IIB fees, it may be $2,000, just one ballpark number. And you also have time commitment, no? It's not free. So if you kind of put $100 per hour as your time cost, that's about $10,000 of time cost that you're putting. So you put about $12,000 into the investment. First year, you get only probably about 20K. So the margins are not high. But second year onwards, you are not going to put any extra effort or money, and you will continue to get that 20K extra. So in a 5 year period, if you see, your investment is 12K and your return is 100K. That's what you can actually achieve if you do this successfully. Then I also tell that the time frame when I took my CBAC, the study guide was BABOK V2. It was a much simpler study guide, and I could do it myself. And in those days when I did CBAP, there was hardly any information available. Internet was in infancy. There were hardly any training institutes available to train me as well. So I had no choice but to do it myself. But today you do have a lot of choice. You have a lot of good resources available to you. So you should leverage them to get certified. The second thing that has happened between this V2 and V3 is V3 has become a lot more complex compared to V2. No, so people who took CBAP under V2 are lucky because they did study a simpler guide. Our questions were also simpler. So in V3, actually IIB added some concept called case questions, which we did not take. So technically, I should actually be qualified as a CCBA, but I wanted IIB to allow me to write for the CBAP, but they said, you are already a CBAP, you can't write it once more. So I was stopped from taking the test. So always remember as the guidebook complexity increases or size increases, it's actually the complexity which is going in a non-linear scale. So we probably were at V2 here, somewhere here. Okay, this is the V2 line. And if you look at V3, V3 is almost double of V2 in terms of volume, but in terms of complexity, it's probably 3.5 times to 4 times. So that's why it's becoming harder and harder for people to just study BABOK and pass the exam, because it's a lot more complex today. Secondly, the exam process itself the exam has become a lot more complex to V2. Only thing that has become easier in V3 is the application process. Application process was much more tougher in V2. Now it has become a lot more streamlined and simpler. Okay, so now that I told you that you have to invest $12,000, of that $2,000 is obviously something that you pay partly to IIBA, partly to the training partner. So to the training partner, you're probably paying $1,000 or $1,500, which is somewhat like 10-15% of what you really are spending on the program. Even then, it's important that you look at the training partner in a careful manner and look at their past success rate, what kind of faculty quality that they employ, what kind of content quality they have. Okay, do they have success guarantee? How frequently do they do these programs? All those kind of things. What kind of post-training support you can get from the partner. We actually get a lot of learners who come to us, ask questions. And when we ask them, did you not get support from your training provider where you took the training? They say, no, the training was done, then it is forgotten. That's a sad situation, but that's how some institutes operate. Okay. Now, I have been telling you that BABOK is a complex guide. It has lots of words. Okay, like once I did a programmatic count and the number was 220,000 words. It's a lot of words to read. So it is important for us to understand how to read this guide well. So one of the easy thing to pick up is to understand what is not there in the exam. So if you know, there is a topic called perspectives in BABOK guide, which is about 80 pages, and that is not there in the exam, neither for CCBA, nor for CBAP, nor for ECBA. None of the standards utilize the perspectives chapter. So you can save yourself quite a lot of effort by not going through that chapter because it's not going to come in the exam. Then have clarity on the question pattern. Some learners actually go with a mindset that the questions will be simple or easy. It isn't. Especially CBAP has few questions which are really, really hard. So if time permits, I will show you a couple of questions like that, but the questions are really hard. That's why you have to prepare well with the right complexity of questions. So few other things that I would always say is understand the task structure very well in BABOK. What each task is trying to achieve. That's very important for you to remember. And having mind maps always helps. So you can see here, we have created a mind map for the tasks. So we are letting you know what kind of key inputs and outputs are used in the entire BABOK process, BABOK described process, how the tasks run, do they run parallelly, do they run serially, all that you can figure out. And what are the key inputs and outputs that BABOK discusses. Another important aspect in BABOK as well is something called the techniques. And BABOK says there are 50 techniques, but we counted and it's going to be 90 techniques for you. It's not 50. Just that we were smart enough to put multiple techniques into one technique. Like say, for example, if you look at prioritization, no? Under prioritization, you have grouping, you have Moscow, so many techniques under prioritization. No? Similarly, under reviews, you have formal review, informal review, desktop review, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Under estimation, you have estimation like ballpark estimation, you have WBS, you have mathematical models. So many things can go under estimation technique. But the good part, not so good part about BABOK techniques discussion, Taurai, you want me to answer some question right now? Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Just back on that screen with the sequences and whatnot, the one that you're showing with the tasks and whatnot. So,
Okay,
that's
the
another thing
task
that
one. Okay. One second. Yeah, let me
definitely.
go back. Just give me a second. I'll do one thing. I'll blow it up a little bit so that you can see it clearly. Okay. 1 second. Let me blow it up. Maybe this is a little better. I hope so. Okay. Or
Yeah.
I can pull it up a little bit more as well. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. So what I find difficult from the BABOK, right, is it doesn't necessarily quite mention the actual sequences of these things, so that's where it gets a little bit tricky, person
True.
when they
Mm.
so
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
So just a question, are you going to supply us with this? I just wanted to see this also.
This image, I can send the PPT. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm. In fact, BABOK does not recommend a sequence, but we do, in the sense from an understanding point of view. And in 80% cases, this sequence will work. So in 20% cases, the sequence may not work, but that's only 20% cases. No, so don't worry so much about 20% cases, rather focus on 80% cases when it is going to work. Okay. And also remember, BABOK is a knowledge guide, is not a practice guide. That means it was not going to recommend any steps for you, because they said it's a knowledge guide. You should understand tasks, you should understand techniques, and then apply your mind to do the task. No. But I would always say, follow this 1 to 30, it works. Few times, some tasks may be a little bit light, some tasks may be repeated multiple times, which is perfectly fine. Okay, coming back to the techniques discussion, unfortunately, BABOK treats every technique as unique, which is actually not the case. Techniques do have a lot of overlap. Like, say, for example, let's take this particular technique and map, and let me put it into a slightly bigger frame as well so that I can explain it well. Sorry. Sorry. Let me delete all this. Okay, so let me put this. Now, if you see here, this is something quite unique to us. I don't know uh, if anybody did this activity, but we did this activity with a purpose. Because when we studied BABOK multiple times, we realized that there are a lot of commonalities among techniques, one thing. Second, some techniques tend to contribute a bit more towards a particular knowledge area. Like, say, for example, if you look at a technique like workshop, focus group, brainstorming, collaborative games, these are typically used for the elicitation activities. Now, if you observe these 4 techniques, so they are all sub-part of collaboration, and they have lot of commonalities between them, especially the way you run a brainstorming session is fairly similar to the way you run a workshop, is fairly similar to run a focus group. But there is difference. No, it's not that they are identical, they're similar. So brainstorming's primary purpose is to get a lot of ideas in a very short time frame. Workshops are to get as many requirements as possible from a diverse set of stakeholders. Focus groups are used to discuss a very specific topic of interest. Collaborative games is a very fun way to run a workshop. So they have a lot of similarity, but there is some difference as well. So what we did at Adaptive is to call out these commonalities and teach them in a group, and then say, okay, now that you understand the commonalities, here are the small differences, remember them. So you don't have to remember the steps for brainstorming, the steps for workshops, the steps for focus groups. That's how BABOK is written. No, it treats workshops and focus groups and brainstorming and collaborative games as completely independent techniques, which is not the case. And also remember, techniques can support each other, go like a flow, like tasks as well. Like if you look at data, you can start with glossary, you can go to concept modeling, then you can go to data modeling, then you can go to data dictionary, then you can go to data flow diagrams. It's almost like a sequence you can follow based on what you're trying to do, starting something at a high level and going to the detailed manner. So this is why we created this mind map. Okay. Then obviously we would expect you to understand strengths of techniques So that when you're asked questions like, in this particular situation, which techniques should you use? Say, for example, I would ask a question like, if you have many stakeholders, like 2,000 stakeholders, which elicitation technique will work best for you? Then you realize that there is a technical survey which is very easy to deploy, and especially with internet coming in, it's much easier to run a survey across locations. You don't have a physical boundary. Even if your stakeholders are spread out throughout the world, they still can participate in a survey. So that's an amazing technique, and that's the strength of that technique. But it also has weaknesses. Survey can't reveal everything. No, it has limitations. But if you're looking at a very high level basic input from a large number of stakeholders, survey seems to be a great technique. So this is what we do in an exercise, what we call reverse mapping. So we give you a situation and we say, in this situation, what technique we use, and we have lots of situations which we have listed. And again, if you are, as you are going for the higher level exam, you should be knowing activity modeling, like process modeling, data modeling, state case diagram, use case diagram. All these diagrams should be very clear to you. This is something I explained to you. And obviously, most of us are not very tuned to write tests. No, that's, I mean, we probably wrote tests till we are in college. Now we have left college, we are at a job, and maybe we are in the job for 8, 10 years now. Who is writing tests? Nobody. No? And I also feel that it's a bad way to judge people based on a test, but that's what is available today. No? And I wish sometime later we should have some tests. And I know in some countries that provision is coming, like in Australia, where a trained assessor can assess you and give you feedback and give you a degree or a certificate. I hope something like that will happen soon. And in that case, if you have been trained, you have been able to do things on the ground, you should be certified, not just based on a 3 hour test or a 2 hour test. But for the time being, since we are bound by the test system, I will still say that practice well to attempt tests. It's kind of a learning mechanism. So that's why you should attempt good number of questions, take good number of simulations, so that when you come to the exam, you are very well prepared. So there are a lot of things, like there are a lot of tricks, there are distractions which you should take note of. Okay. So this is what I'm saying. And obviously, also analyze your answers. Like, am I getting the answers right? Am I reading the question correctly? Those kind of things. Then obviously we have to apply for CCBA or CBAP. It's not very hard, although we have a bad name, because in V2 this was very complex. So it got a very bad name, saying applying IIBA is a very tedious task. No longer a tedious task. But anyway, you must have the required work experience, which I said before. You also need PD hours, which formal trainings provide you. And you also need 2 references. So I hope you have some good friend with whom you have worked in the past, your past manager or a client who should be willing to become a reference for you. Sometimes your application can get picked up for audit, but don't worry so much. If you have provided right data to IIBA, you should not have any worry. It will get cleared in 3 to 4 weeks' time at most. And also you should plan for your exam 4 to 6 weeks prior so that you get the slot that you want. This is again important to note. In general, we advise our learners to go and take the test in the test center, not at home. But in case if the test center is really far off, like sometimes I hear there is no IIBA test center in my country. You're not going to travel to another country to take IIBA test. That's too much expectation. In that case, you can take it from home as well, but make sure that you have the right infrastructure. Like you have 2 laptops, both laptops have admin access available to you. You have 2 good internet connections. You have a good external camera. All these things you should make sure that you do not see any infrastructure issues while taking the test. And of course, have a clean desk and a noise-free room because the proctor is going to observe your ambience quite thoroughly. Okay, now we'll come to some tips for taking the test. What are they? One, obviously remember, answer as per BABOK. Don't apply your own judgment saying this is right. This is what I do in my organization. Maybe. And your practice may be even better than BABOK. But while answering, please stick to BABOK. Then, in general, what we have heard from our learners is the initial questions are a little hard. So, in general, I would say start with question number 40 or 50, go to the end, and then come back and do 1 to 40 or 1 to 50. You have the ability to put questions for review, so you can mark it for review as well. And let's understand that there will be questions which are very hard, and we should be preparing for right complexity of questions. Time-bound test. So you have to take care of how many questions you are attempting every hour. Okay, so I'll quickly take you through what we do as an organization, and I'll kind of open the meeting and you can ask me any question. So we as an organization help business analysts. That's what is our primary job. And obviously, it has helped a lot of our learners, and I'm quite hopeful it can help you as well. This is something I have already said. And this is a link that we have given for many of our past learners, those who have shared their success stories with us. That's written in this particular blog. So what we provide quality content. We provide extremely good expert facilitators. The thumb rule that we have is minimum 20 years into a BA, must have been IIBA certified, and must be kind of getting a good student feedback as well. So we often also drop our learners, trainers after a session if we don't find the trainer really engaging with the learners and getting good feedback from them. Good number of model questions is what something we also take good care of. Remember, we are probably the only institute in the world to offer you 3 guarantees, all written. Success guarantee that covers 2 free retakes, guarantee to run. If we don't run, we pay you money, and we pay you a penalty as well. And for last 6+ years, none of our sessions have been cancelled. That's how committed we are to you. So even if you are one student, the session will still run. And then we also have a money back policy. In case ultimately you still don't succeed, whatever little money is left with us after paying the IIBA fees, we pay it back to you. And this is the current number that we have. 2277 all total IIBA certified BAs, 940 CBAP, and I think 221 CCBA. We track these numbers very closely. Of course, this is something I can skip. I have already told you so many times. So I'll skip this slide. And just a quick note on the kind of faculty members that you will interact with. Victoria Cupet is the current vice chair for IIBA. Like the IIBA board, she's the vice chair. You know, this is me. Bindu is the head of IIBA Europe. Laura and Olivier, both of them have been chapter leaders and long-time BAs as well. Tom is the person who does not teach CBAP or CCBA. He primarily teaches CBDA, AAC, CPOA, because he is yet to complete CBAP, although he is a very senior business analyst. He's way older than me and has done business analysis work for quite a long time. But since he has not written CBAP, we are not able to let him run the course. But he is CBDA and AAC, that's why he runs those courses. And these are the only 6 people who will teach you, nobody else. Okay, so again, you can find a lot of feedback about us. Okay, a couple of interesting stuff for you. We do have a nice app called Competency Pro. This you can use to assess your competencies over a period of time. And then we have a learning portal called thinkific.adaptiveus.com, where you will find some good resources on CBAP and CCBA as well, and on our website as well. Just to tell you, when are the next courses running? 18th October, Saturday, the next course is starting. And again, we have one in November as well. And the weekday program starts on 6th November. So if you're looking at a weekend program or a weekday program, you can join both. And you can also save a little bit of money on your exam bundle. I think $34 or something less if you buy it from us. But for that, you have to become our learner. Otherwise, we don't give you the discount. And all our program details you'll find on this link, which is adaptiveus.com/calendar. Oh, sorry. Another important announcement for you. We do have a product called Question Bank Plus Simulations Study Guide as well. And that's available for a very, very value price, $159 for CBAP, $139 for CCBA. And you can add or top up the live training for $150 or $120. It's a very, very aggressive pricing. And I believe if you are really looking at the best cost product, this is the best cost product that you can buy. But of course, these don't come with any of the guarantees. No? Obviously, at this price point, we can't give you success guarantee or money back guarantee. So here are the two coupon codes that I would like you to make note of. If you buy the ultimate plan, which is mostly the weekday plan, or you can take it for weekend as well. So ultimate plan has unlimited access, 1 year support compared to 6 month support, few other things. And you can actually get an off of CBAP $550 for CBAP and $500 for CCBA. And those of you who sign up within next 24 hours, you also get a free Gen AI course. It's a live course as well. It's not a recorded course. There is recording, but there is also a live course that we run at least once in a quarter. So you can join that course when it happens next. Okay, I think I'll leave the slide deck here and I am ready to take up your questions. Since I have enabled all of you, if you want to ask a question, please put up your hand or you can put it in the chat. I will take it from there and I can enable you to speak as well. Okay, so it's your time now. So I see some Q&A. Let me see. Okay, that is okay. That is Edgar. Done. Okay. Anybody with any question?
Yes. I just have a question, right? As someone, okay, so I'm in between projects at the moment, right? And I've just been going through the knowledge areas, right? The knowledge areas like tomorrow, and so my plan was to write the CBAP before end of the year. You know, I want to do this while I'm in between projects, but I want to be focusing on it, right? So is it an achievable goal? Because I really not.
I'm hearing a lot of background sound, so right. So if you can write the question, that will be much, much easier for me. Huh? Because I'm hearing a lot of background sound for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, no, sorry,
So
I'm just driving. So can I just try one more time? Can you hear me now?
I do hear you, but it's not very clear. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. No, so what I'm asking is for a person who's in between projects, right? And who wants to go, I've started reading the the BABOK, and I'm completing the and you know I've got so much time in my hand, like I'm literally doing, that's all I'm focusing on right now on this on writing the exam. Is it possible for me to write that exam within this year, like end of this year, because like in December, because that's what I'm
Should be possible. Should be possible.
really trying
You
to
still have
achieve
3 months
now.
almost, no? But you have to work really hard because you're putting such a deadline. You have to spend really good time.
Yeah, no, I'm
Typically
definitely
for
spending good time.
typically for CBAP, we expect somewhere around 130, 140, 150 hours of effort. So it's a good amount of effort that you have to put in to make sure that you pass. Okay.
Yeah. But what I was trying to find out is with the timelines, will I be able to apply?
Yeah. Not a problem. Should not be a problem. No, should not be a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Let me ask some questions. Ronan is asking, what is the pass percentage score for CCBA? We don't know. IIBA does not publish. We assume it to be around 70-75%. So if you do above 80% in the simulations, you're generally good. Is the upcoming ultimate plan discounts applicable to September or October cohort? Silas, September cohort has already started, so we can't do anything about it, but you can take it for October cohort. because October cohort is going to stay. Okay, someone says, can I show adaptive course content? Okay, I can show that as well. So give me a second. Let me log into Thinkific and I will show you a little bit of our content structure so that you understand what kind of content you will get. So let me change my screen and let me go to our content. I'm doing it for CBAP. CCBA will be very similar, just that the quantity will be little less because CCBA does not have case questions, so obviously it's different. So if you see here, we basically have a section called Program Intro, Documents to Print. So there are two important documents that we give here. One we call the CBAP Study Guide, and this is an abridged version of BABOK. So this is about 10% of BABOK in terms of word count. So we try to eliminate any superfluous word, any repetition, write things in a very simple bulleted structure, make as many tables as possible. That's how we reduce the content. And that's why you can read our study guide 5 times or 6 times by the time you read BABOK once. So this is what it comes here. Then we have a section called Exam Prep Help. We have a preparation plan. This you can download from our website as well. It's free. Then there is an application simulator. That's also something you get as part of this course. And this simulator hasn't failed yet. And there is some exam tips guide here. Then we have something called a live class access, which is when you join the live classes, you join through this. You get your past session recordings as well here. All that comes here. Taking a little time to load because I'm on a video call. Okay, so this is how the recordings look like, when the session will come, all that kind of thing. Then for every chapter, we have few short videos, mostly recorded by me. Then you have different types of questions. And since I have 2 minutes, I will show you some scenario-based questions because you guys are keen. So this is how a scenario-based question looks like. So typically 3 to 4 lines, and you have 4 options in front of you. Would anybody like to attempt this question? Kind of quite an easy question. No? Nobody wants to attempt? Let's see who is saying what. Okay, let me see. Somebody says A. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Let me go back. Why would you use A? No, look at this. What is that you're trying to do? Cost and time estimates.
Yeah, estimation.
You actually have a clue in the question, but sometimes the clue could actually be pointing to a wrong option. So just be careful that it's not driving you to a wrong option. So I would go with estimation. Let's see. Correct. No? There are many such questions, and we have about 100 scenario questions per chapter and about 50 case questions per chapter. So this is how the case questions look like. You can see here, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, paragraph 5. Okay, then the questions come. So that's why writing these questions take time, and obviously reading these questions also take time. This is the reason I asked you to start from question number 40, because these questions are typically placed in the beginning. So it's very likely that you will spend a lot of time, you still may not understand, you may not be able to answer the question as well. That's why you put them to the end. Then we do have flashcards and audiobook. And after this, you have some more resources here on modeling. You get faculty presentations, some reference materials. And we do have a simulation system, which is very similar to what IIBA does. So we looked at the IIBA system and we designed it on our side because the Thinkific platform does not have a simulation. So I'll show you the simulation system. Just give me a minute. It's taking a little time. Meanwhile, let me kind of pick up some questions from the others. Okay. Okay. There's a good question saying Watermark's practice exams offer 4 multiple choice answers. That's always the truth. The system is like that. Sometimes there are 2 answers with one being more right or more accurate. In fact, it can be 4 correct questions options, one being the best option. Whether it is tricking or not, I don't know. I don't want to trick learners, but I am not the deciding authority for IIBA. No. So whatever is there, the system, we have to live with it. It is indeed tricky. That's what I've been telling you as well. No? So that's why if you don't practice enough, you will not be able to catch those tricks. Okay, back to our simulation system. Let me see if the simulation system has loaded. Not yet. I think the video conferencing is taking all the bandwidth that I have. But otherwise, you can also try it. It's available in Thinkific. You can do a simple simulation as well. It has a timed simulation, so it shows you how much time is left, what questions you have attempted, what questions you haven't attempted. All those things you can see here as well. Okay, that's about it. So I showed you our learning content system as well. Any other question from anybody else? All good so far? Okay. So let me share back the coupon code data, because this is something I think most students or most learners are interested. So keep a note of this. If you want to take a screenshot, you can do that as well. Okay. Then let me come down. I think we are here to help you become a better business analyst, have a much rewarding career as well. And if you want to reach out to us, this is what I was supposed to do, but I didn't get time. So I'll skip this part. And if you want to reach out to us, the best way to reach out to us is to write to this email ID called cs@adaptiveus.com. Or you can also call us on our toll-free number, +1 877 872 2860. So we are almost on the dot. Yes, please.
Sorry, you mentioned earlier on that you were going to send us, but I remember I was asking about the sequence of those knowledge areas, the ones that 80% of the time. You said you will put them in a PowerPoint and send them to us. Did you say you send them to us or what?
Yeah. So this presentation, we will share it with the recording of the session. So it will take about a day, but it will happen. It will come to you. Okay. Don't worry. So whatever you have seen, you will get it in a PPT form, like most likely a PDF form, and then the recording of the webinar as well. Okay. So let me thank all of you for being here today. And I hope you found this something helpful. And I wish to see all of you certified. But the primary discount is available for this month. There is no problem. But the GenAI discount is available only for next 24 hours. So if you want to take benefit of the GenAI course, you have to register within 24 hours. Otherwise, till the course begins, like October 18th, you can take the benefit of the other 2 coupons that I said, no, 550, 500. But generally, I would recommend you to register a little bit early. From a logistics perspective, it becomes easier for us to give you access, not struggle at the very last minute. Okay. Okay, Bato says the boss should say yes. That's your duty to convince your boss. Thank you all for joining us today and have a lovely day, lovely evening, or lovely morning, depending on where you are. And then we will hope to see each other again sometime soon. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. My LinkedIn ID is LN Mishra CBAP. So please do find me and connect with me if you want to get some additional info about the programs. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.